Welcome back to TarHeelIllustrated.com's continued coverage of North Carolina's class of 2022 football signing day. And if you are happen to be watching us on YouTube, our channel is called Tar Heel Illustrated. I am THI publisher Andrew Jones. Joining me is our director of football recruiting, Dina King. We continue to roll out conversations as each member of the class of 2022 sends in his signed letter of intent. And the last one to do so, the most recent one, is Trevyon Green, a 3-star massive offensive tackle from Life Christian Academy in Chester, Virginia. We've said the word Virginia a lot today. The number 56 rated player nationally at his position, the number 17 overall prospect in the loaded Commonwealth of Virginia, 6'7", 340 pounds, committed last January to North Carolina. And when he committed, I admit, I mean, you're clued into this stuff every day. When I'm in the middle of basketball and traveling, especially as crazy as travel was last year, I go a day or two maybe where I'm not having a recruiting conversation with you. I didn't know a ton about him. When he committed to Carolina, you did, and you've learned an awful lot more about him over the last 11 months since he committed to the Tar Heels. So what can you tell everybody about Trevyon Green?
He was a lot bigger than that, and the several programs, I think that's why they didn't offer him or see much interest in him. UNC did. They told him to cut down and slim down, and he did that. And they offered him, and they stuck by their offer, and he fell in love with UNC. And it's, you don't know how big a youngin, I call him a youngin, is until you see him in person. And we all saw him down there at the showcase camp. I'm like, look over there. That's a big kid right there. And all 6'6", 340 of him. So, I think he's gonna need some work. Coach gonna have to work with him and everything, but I think he could be another Marcus McKeithen who came out of nowhere and did very well for UNC. So it's going to be interesting to see Trevyon, another Virginia kid up there towards your Richmond area, and was committed a long time. They got 3 Virginia commits right off the bat. It kind of set the tone for the class. Yes, so literally a big pickup for UNC.
And he might be a little below 340, and that'll be something that we'll monitor the first year or so that he's in the program, kind of see where he is in that respect. People need to understand as well, offensive line has a ton of attrition. You go back and look at past offensive line, past recruiting classes, and just, carve out the offensive line and say, okay, what those guys do? A lot of them don't last because of attrition, because it's at one position along the line, tackle, guard, center, where you're almost guaranteed helmet-to-helmet contact at every snap. So there's a lot of attrition, a lot of lower body injuries because of what they carry. They have to be athletic enough, especially these days with the spread offenses, and Carolina pulls a lot. They pull the guards and tackles a lot, sometimes simultaneously. So you've got to be nimble. You got to be able to move. But it's also a position group where a lot of guys come in somewhat under the radar and flourish. And they jump over guys who are highly regarded. You look at Kieran Johnson. He was a preferred walk-on. He ended up being the starter at center this year and played pretty solid for Carolina. So Trevyon Green isn't a preferred walk-on. He's a scholarship kid. I think if Trevyon Green in December 2020 looked the way he does right now and was coming off a year like he's coming off right now, he would be higher regarded and he would have a lot more big-time offers. Carolina was wise in identifying the potential. They got in there, they won him over, and they have stayed true to him, and he has stayed true to them.
One thing that's going to help him, he's going to be one of those early enrollees, and he's going to be coming in January and getting a head start and getting in that weight program and nutrition program. And, Andrew, by the time we see him at spring camp, we may notice a big difference in him, in his physique and everything.
and confidence. And as he continues to change his body, he's going to get more confident. And when he's more confident, his game is going to grow and improve. Confident kids are a lot easier to coach than kids that aren't. And we're not suggesting that he's not confident. It's just that when someone is working on their body as much as he has, that's a big part of their process. That's a big part of where they are in that moment of time. So kudos to him for the work that he's done. And he'll continue that when he gets into Carolina. The other thing about him is that Carolina planting flags all over the state of Virginia. I love this pickup from the perspective that they're not just getting, the Bryson Jennings and the Zach Rice and the George Pettaway types. The Tony Grimes is from Virginia, who was in the previous class. They're going to take a kid like Trevyon Green as well. They have identified all around the state that if you could play and you could play for us, we're going to push hard for you. You might as well put a fence around Virginia and use the same fence that covers North Carolina as well. I think a pickup like this sends that kind of message.
Yeah, certainly does. And now Hoss, my dog, really likes Trevyon Green committing or signing with the Tar Heels. He's one of them big dogs, like I've said in some of the early podcasts. So
your cat likes Tyshawn Chapman and your dog likes Trevyon Green. That's pretty good stuff.
He does.
Well, anyway, Trevyon Green, 3-star offensive tackle from Chester, Virginia, an area that has a lot of talent and produced some big-time players in the past. He is the most recent member of the class of 2022 to send in his signed letter of intent to North Carolina. We're going to continue to monitor this and discuss these guys all day. When their LOIs come in, we're going to roll out a discussion. And you never know, maybe a cat or a dog might get involved. My dog was in one of these podcasts a little while ago. So they're excited about signing day too. She's Dina. He's Hoss. I'm AJ. Thanks for stopping by.